Alright everyone, welcome back to another Shoutcast match brought to you by Ragoska. I'm going to be casting a 1 versus 1 here between Discorax, spawning as the Blue Terran in the southern position on Zelnaga Caverns, and Rijimer, spawning as the Red Protoss in the northernmost position. I picked up this replay from the StarCast forums. You can visit them at www.thestarcast.com. It's a great community there. They do a weekly podcast online by the show's hosts, Garrett and Kyle. It's a pretty awesome show. Mork is also on there quite a bit, and he's been on my channel quite a bit of times. He's a co-host with them. He has been on lately. His work schedule's been getting in the way, but for the most part, though, he's definitely a very strong caster with them. I really enjoy that community. They've been helping me out promoting my channel as well. If you do like the games I'm casting, please subscribe to my channel down below. We'll get this game underway. We'll see what these players are building. Right now we have Discorax here spawning our building a supply depot up at his ramp. One thing I want to point out is building your depots and stuff at this ramp walling off against Protoss. It's generally not advised as much anymore, as Void Ray pressure can come in and pick off these supply depots, and the Marines won't be able to get close enough to do too much damage, as those Void Rays do have the same range as the Marines. But meanwhile, both players just now scouting each other, as they do have the barracks and gateway going up as well. We'll see what builds these players both decide to do. We have an interesting rally point here set up just so he can get as much scouting information done as possible. Looks like we're going to have that cybernetics core going up pretty soon. We do have a second pylon going up right now, as well as getting his assimilator up. So just mainly, it looks like he's going to have enough minerals by the time his gateway finishes to throw up his core. So a pretty solid build so far from the Protoss player. Looks like that scout is the scouting probe is not allowed to get into that base, but he's going to pick off that SCV and get out of there before taking too much damage. So yeah, just kind of seeing how these builds are going to be opening so far. We do have a first Marine coming out now for Discorax, as he is getting that second barracks put up, as well as getting the third racks put up as well. So it looks like we're going to be going for some 3 racks pressure. No gas as of yet, so it looks like he could opt to expand after he gets these barracks up, or when he gets to the 400 minerals. Also not starting his orbital yet, so letting his orbital delay for quite a bit. You kind of want to get that up as soon as possible so you can get those mules going. Looks like he's still just choosing to build workers out of there. So a little bit of a blunder here, but not too bad. You should be able to recover from this pretty quickly, having these 3 racks out. Still not taking any gas geysers yet, so we won't be able to get out any kind of marauders or any tech yet. Just focusing on Marines as well as making SCVs, and we'll see if he decides to get that orbital up. We do have a proxy pylon up here for Rijimer, and we'll see how this effect goes for him right now. Looks like that scouting SCV was taken out of that base or just chased out. So we do have those 2 zealots there. We do have a cybernetics core as well as 2 more gateways in production. So it looks like we have a standard 3-gate opening right now. Possibly going to do a 4-gate opening, or switch into a 3-gate type robo build. Now we do have a 4th gateway going up, so it looks like this is going to be some 4-gateway pressure. Meanwhile, we have some Marines and some SCVs moving out here. Looks like he might be setting up some kind of contain, as well as this SCV sitting right here. So we'll see how he decides to push out with this small little force here. As we do have those 3 SCVs right now. They could just be used as blockers for the Marines to help hold those SCVs out. Here comes a small engagement. It looks like he will be able to take out those zealots no problem with these SCVs blocking for him. You basically just kind of funnel those in there. They hold the zealots back, absorb damage, while the Marines can get those extra shots in. Those SCVs are being taken out right now, but it looks like he is able to get that zealot down. Meanwhile, focusing down that pylon, but there's a stalker being warped in right now. That stalker being taken down to almost no health as soon as it warps in. 2 more stalkers out right now. Let's see if we can get those down. Looks like the Marine is taking out a second Marine. Then there's just 1 stalker left. But it did do enough damage where he is able to basically keep the 4 warp gate from doing any kind of real pressure, as we do have more Marines being rallied into this base, but he is still warping in lots and lots of units, so he's going to be able to hold this off pretty well. Looks like Discorax is just planning to retreat back to his base. We still have this proxy pylon down here. Still just working off those 3 racks, now starting to morph in that orbital command. So we'll see if he decides to expand off of this or just keep up with the Marine pressure. Still not taking any gases as of yet. Meanwhile, these two Marines look like they're going to poke up and see what they can see, but with this force up here, they're going to be shoot out quite quickly. If they're even shoot out, they might just get taken out, as Stalkers do move faster than Marines. He should be able to pick this one off as well. Yep, looks like he's going to get that one picked off, even though we do have another platoon of Marines just sitting down here, choosing not to engage with those units as of yet. Looks like he is choosing to just move around the map, see what he can see. Maybe he'll scout this pylon if he decides to push down towards the gold again. Meanwhile, just both of them just jockeying for position, seeing what they can see. Looks like both players not choosing to commit to any kind of attack yet, as we do have a few sentries coming out for the Protoss player, so he can choose to wall off his ramp, throw up that Guardian Shield, which basically cuts the Marines' damage down. And we do have two bunkers going up. This is played on the new patch. Bunkers take quite a bit longer to build. They take 40 seconds to build now, and we do have some pressure coming up right now. This 4-gate attack is quite delayed since he did go in there and do that early aggression, and we'll see how this attack transitions. We do have quite 6 Stalkers coming in right now, another bunker going up for Discorax. Looks like those Marines are going to be able to shoo away a lot of this force. We do have this engagement here. Marines jumping in the bunker. These Marines should pull back so that the Marines in the bunker can do as much damage as possible. SCV is just working on repairing right now. Looks like he is getting ready to hold this. He's going to lose this bunker right here as this attack keeps pushing down. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold this off too well, as those SCVs are getting taken out, not doing too much repairing. We're down to 2 Stalkers left, or 3 Stalkers left. Those SCVs are being pulled in to do as much damage as possible. 4 more Stalkers coming in. Looks like the Marines are just trying to do as much damage as possible. Get another bunker going up from Discorax. These Marines should be able to repel this attack quite efficiently, as they are chasing that Stalker away. Stalkers still move faster than Marines, so you should be able to get away with those forces. No expansions look like they're coming up yet for either player. Both sitting right around 400 minerals, so it looks like they could choose to expand or not. Max Chrono Boost energy on this Nexus, as he does decide to do that now, as he's focused less on macro and more, or micro, and focused more back on his macro. But letting your Nexus energy get that high. These warp gates do have a full cycle ready. Looks like just the one warp gate has a cycle ready, so choosing not to build any units. Sitting just at the 5 Stalkers up in his base right now. 1 Marine just kind of sitting out here on the map, as well as these small platoon of Marines. Currently supplies 40 over 32. We do have some reactors going up right now, as well as getting a factory up as well. Orbital Command's sitting at about 70 energy, so not dropping heals as often as he should. Possibly saving up for a scan, but with that early 4-gate pressure, there's really not any kind of cheese that should be heading his way anytime soon. So it doesn't really need to save up those scans, as he was committed to attacking them with mostly those Stalkers. As we can see here, if we look at the army killed, we do have 4 workers killed for the red player, only 1 probe killed for Discorax. Units killed there pretty well even still. Looking at the production tab, we don't have much in production for the Protoss player. We do have an expansion command center coming up for Discorax, as well as getting his engineering bay and starting his Stimpack research. We do not have an expansion coming up for the Protoss player, so it looks like he was just saving up his minerals so he could get that expansion out. We still have this proxy pylon here, so we can choose to warp in units, or when notice when the Terran decides to take his gold expansion, because you can see these rocks being broken down. Looks like he's just keeping his army in front of his base, which will leave himself wide open for, a counterattack. So he can use these units, start working on these rocks. If he's planning on making this a macro game, since these units were pretty much just standing there, he could have worked on those rocks a little bit. The scouting Marine is going to notify that the army